hey, I really think it's time for you to go ahead and just apply to that job.
Welcome to Suitcase Coder, the podcast. I'm Laura, and I host this podcast where I track my journey from joining a coding bootcamp to becoming a remote developer. My ultimate goal in life is to travel the world and see as many countries as I can, but for now, I'm sharing what I've learned so far to hopefully help and inspire future techies, freelancers, and digital nomads. Thanks for tuning in, and let's get started. Hello, it's me in editing mode. Clearly, I'm not ready to record anything. However, I'm editing this video and realizing that the sound is pretty bad, so I wanted to apologize that before you actually go through and watch the video. However, if you do watch it, first of all, thank you. And second of all, if you're applying for jobs currently as a software developer, I do think I provide some pretty cool tips, especially rewatching it. I still think a lot of these tips are valid, even though I recorded this a couple months ago. And I just wanted to say thank you for watching it despite the terrible sound. So thanks.
You know, that one job that you've been waiting to apply to, or those other 25 jobs sitting on your saved list in Indeed or LinkedIn or bookmarks to your browser. I had a ton of those and I never applied, and I waited so long that a lot of those expired, and the same thing's probably happening to you. Because if you are a software developer who is still very junior, or you're just going through the process of learning it, you might very much be feeling imposter syndrome. That is something that I definitely have struggled with. And if you don't apply to that job, you will never get a job. So I'm here to tell you to go ahead and apply to that job. And I know that applying to jobs sucks. I know having to write cover letters absolutely sucks. And I know that the actual technical portion of job interviews for software developers is extra tough. But I'm here to hopefully convince you to go ahead and just apply to the job. What's the worst that can happen? You don't get the job, you don't get the interview, so what? There's thousands of other jobs out there for software developers. And luckily that's actually true. There's a huge trend and need for software developers on the planet. So get applying, because you don't want to miss out on an opportunity. And on this episode, I really just want to convince you to go ahead and apply for that job. So I'm going to give you 5 pointers. And if you say yes to any or all of them, I want you to just go ahead and send your resume off, wish it the best, and hope that you get a call for an interview. So number 1, do you meet 50% of the requirements on that job description? Notice I did not say 100. Notice I did not say at least 50%. Do you meet around 50% of the requirements for the job description? If you said yes, go ahead and apply. A lot of these job descriptions that they have is to filter out people who truly don't know anything and who truly would not be a good fit. But I think a lot of times in doing so, they also filter out people that would be really, really good for the job. So as long as you meet at least 50% of the things and you're willing to learn the other 50% either before getting the job or as you join the team, you're willing to learn those other things that are required for the job to be accomplished at its best, then go ahead and apply. If it's not something that you're willing to learn, then just maybe don't apply. But as long as you have 50% of the requirements, and that doesn't have to be only technical, like maybe you have customer service experience or experience working on a team, managing people, whatever it is, those are values that are also very helpful for software developers, right? You're not going to go sit at your computer all day and just code. I mean, yes, but you're also having to interact with other people, other teams, be able to communicate what you're doing to your bosses and to your colleagues. So there's a lot of other key values that are looked at, not just your technical skills. So number 1, if you meet 50% of those requirements on the job description, go ahead and apply. Number 2, are you within 2 years of the range of years of experience that job is asking for? So let's say that a junior level entry position is asking for 3 to 5 years experience. You're a junior developer. I think it's okay if you don't have those 3 to 5 years, because years of experience does not equal amount of skill had, right? If you excel in learning to code and you are building out projects that are top level, that doesn't mean that you spent 8 years behind a desk learning that. That means you were able to pick it up quickly and you're writing good code. So I don't think that years of experience reflect directly with ability to write good code or to write code at all. So as long as you're within those 2-year range, go ahead and apply. So if the job is asking for 3 to 5 years, as long as you have 1 to 3 years, apply. If the job is asking for 7 to 8 and you have 5, If the job is asking for 7 to 10 years experience and you have 5 to 7 years experience, go ahead and apply. Whatever it is, just as long as you're within that range, go ahead and apply to the job because you might not have the years of experience, but you might have the skills that is equal to somebody who has been in the job for longer than you have. Don't let that discourage you from applying to that job. Number 3, and this is an important one, are you willing to learn what you don't already know? So that being said, and I kind of touched up on this with the first point, is if you know that there's something in the job description or something that this role is going to require you to do and you don't have that skill yet, are you willing to take the time either before the interview or at least during your first 6 months of that role to learn that new skill? Then apply to the job. Because if you are willing to learn, then that's really all that matters. It's just a matter of whether that company has time or not, or maybe financially whether they have the means for you to take that time to learn it on the job. And a lot of companies do. A lot of companies, especially if they're hiring junior developers, know that there's going to be some period of time that they're going to need to give these junior developers to ramp them up to be at the level that they are required to be at. Also, you can't guess exactly what it is you're going to learn. So like all boot camps do a really good job of providing you the tools that they think are basic tools, resources needed in order to find that first job. But everybody knows that it's when you get that first job that you're going to actually hit real life experience and you're going to learn brand new skills, brand new job languages. So as long as you're willing to go through that process of learning, then I think it's okay to apply to that job and mention that in your interview. If you do apply and you do get that foot in the door, then go ahead and express to your employer that you are willing to learn what you don't know. Also, being vulnerable and confident enough to say, I don't know X, but I'm willing to learn X, I think shows a lot of initiative, and employers are really going to like hearing that because they're going to see somebody who not only has initiative, but let's say down the line, the company decides to change technologies that they use. That means that no matter what comes their way, you're willing to learn and adapt and to grow with the company. So I think being confident in saying what you don't know, but then also taking that second to say, here's what I don't know and here's what I'm going to do to learn it, shows a lot of confidence. And I think it can get you a really long way in the interview. Number 4, is your portfolio and or GitHub up to date, ready for somebody to be looked at? Are you proud of this portfolio? If your answer is no, then maybe take a week or 2 and spruce it up. I don't mean go out and write like 5 new projects before you start applying to jobs, but go in and make sure that your code is up to date. Make sure you have something relevant. Make sure you upload, even if it's just like technical interview JavaScript practice problems, that shows that you are still committed to coding, that you're still eager to learn, and that you're still keeping up with wanting to get a job and wanting to be a developer. So just make sure that your GitHub is up to date. And if it's not, don't stress about it, but maybe start now and start adding to that so that employers can see that it's something that you're actually interested in. You also want to make sure that no matter who asks about your portfolio and your projects that you've completed, that you're able to talk code with them. You want to not just tell them about how great of an idea it is, but you want to talk through the code and say, I use these technologies because why I really struggled through learning X in order for this app to work. You want to be able to talk tech with them. That's what they're really wanting to know when they go through your portfolio is, did this person just copy all of this code from somebody else's set of code or from the bootcamp lectures? Did this person actually give it a try and struggle through it and learn something from the process of creating a portfolio project? So if you are not familiar with your portfolio, maybe look over it again, familiarize yourself with the code that you've done, leave comments for yourself. Comments everything, super helpful. Be able to talk about your own code and of course have code to talk about. Number 5, and this is maybe a crappy one, but number 5, are you okay with rejection? We all know that interviewing for jobs can be a very draining experience, especially when you're applying upwards of 30 job applications per week or 10 per whatever, however many you are doing. If you are constantly getting rejected, because obviously you will continue to get rejected until the point where you get the job, at which point you stop applying for jobs. So you stop getting rejected, right? It's a continuation of rejection after rejection after rejection that can serve you as a reference for learning and growing as a developer, right? You have to be okay with rejection from these job interviews. It's going to happen. It's okay. It happens to everybody. One thing that you can do is make sure to celebrate your loss, because if you didn't get one job, you've at least learned from it. You had experience getting exposed to what the interview process is like, and you get to go find a job that may be a better fit for you in the long run anyway. All of that being said, I think it's time, just apply to that job. You lose nothing from it. You only gain experience and confidence. And hopefully this episode has motivated you to go ahead and submit your resume, submit your portfolio, apply to that job. And if you do get a job from this, then by all means, let me know. Congratulations. It's a huge deal. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to watch it on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel as well at Suitcase Coder. Thanks for listening, and until next time. Bye.